Yeah, tough loss, ran out of time. Obviously didn't go the way we wanted, didn't start the way we wanted, but just proud of, as a unit, how we responded.
Why do you think y'all were a little bit out of sync and things just weren't rolling like they were in the first half?
Yeah, I think it was our first big test on defense, and they pretty much played cover one and had a deep safety, number 15. It was a great player, and so that was the first time that we've seen that all year, fall camp or not. So it was going to take some time to get adjusted to a new style of defense that we haven't seen yet this year, and so I think that initially, and then some one-on-one matchups we didn't win, and then obviously some throws I missed and didn't execute on. And that's kind of a test to them on a good game plan, and for us to not respond initially.
Don't the receivers kind of lick their chops though when they see that man one?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, it's I think it was the first 35 snaps of the game. They just went cover one or cover one blitz.
Right.
So, as a quarterback and as a receiver, you get excited for those opportunities because you make you look really good, or they can also make you look not as that great. And so we didn't hit initially on those, and when we did win, I didn't hit them, and then sometimes whenever they didn't win, then that's when the throw was there. So just kind of unfortunate.
What was halftime in the third quarter like for you?
Oh, I want the team to win in any way we can, and I can control what I can control.
I think I've known you well enough and long enough to know you shake things up. You're always looking for the positive. That's kind of your personality.
Yeah, the one plus of playing 7 years is that I've been through a lot. I would not be here right now if I was a five-star recruit and being in the NFL 3 and done, right? That's not my story. I would not be here if I was that guy. So to say that the situation that we were in, I've been there before, I have multiple times. So it's nothing that's gonna change my perspective. It's nothing that's gonna change my mentality. And that's just kind of my outlook on life and everything. Football aside, is sometimes you're not gonna have a great day. Sometimes, you might not agree with everything, but what can you do but put your head down and work?
What's to be able to get to go back into the game and finish that way, and then Gundy right after the game came out and said, Allen's our guy, there's no question about it. What does that mean to you after the way that game started?
Yeah, mostly it's for my team believing in me, you know what I mean, and believing in who we are and what we built here, and not wavering. I think there was a hiccup there, and things have in life that just kind of happens. So to not waver, and for those guys to kind of believe in me and who we are as an offense and how we responded to come back in was interesting, and just proud to see us not give up and have a chance to actually win the game at the end.
Here comes another team that you've seen before, and they don't change who they are and what they do very much in K-State.
Yeah, no, they're obviously a similar program to us, hard-nosed, kind of what we just saw in Utah. But I feel really good about this week. I really do. There's a fire lit underneath all of us, myself included, and I think it's gonna. We'll see how it goes on Saturday. But I'm excited. Those guys obviously a really good team. They have a great culture. They've been doing the same thing for a long time, just as we have. So.
Were there any communication issues with your helmet?
There was a couple. I was even wearing Rangel's helmet. Did you see that in the last drive? I didn't even know. The chin strap felt a little weird. But no, nothing crazy communication issues. One word sounds like another on one play, but I can kind of decipher what that word is that I kind of missed. But yeah, no communication issues.
I think health-wise, were you okay? There was a couple times it looked like you were getting up a little slow.
Yeah, I got the wind knocked out of me pretty bad one time. So just take a deep breath, try to catch my breath, and realize we were gonna go for a 2-point conversion. So yeah, all good.
As a leader of the group, what's kind of been your message after that game?
It's just one loss at the end of the day. Like we can't worry too much on, oh my gosh, this happened, oh my gosh, this happened, oh we couldn't complete this or this or that. Worrying about those things is not going to make us a better football team. And it's just, it's one loss. It's going to happen. We still have everything in front of us. We can still win the Big 12. As realistically, we wouldn't want it any other way to Oklahoma State, the hard way. That's what we like to do things around here. So as we did last year, and we showed, I think we're a better team than what we were last year. So I wouldn't doubt us to go run the table.
With that in mind, is this one coming up against Kansas State maybe a bit more important after this Saturday, just in terms of facing another team that's contending for the Big 12 to tiebreakers?
Absolutely, no, absolutely. This is a huge one. We know it's a big one, and our first true road test. So it's gonna be fun. It's a great challenge ahead, and I can't wait for it.
From your perspective, your point of view, you've been around the offense a lot. You've been around offenses a lot. Why isn't Ollie Gordon being able to do what he did last year?
Well, you see, especially Utah, they are more of, we're going to run 4-2 box even if there's 11 guys, or if it's just me, Joe, and Ollie, they're still gonna have a 4-2 box. You know what I mean? So they didn't change the way of who they are, and so I think the runs that he had were great. Now you get down in a ball game, we have to throw the ball, and I know things didn't work out that way as we wanted, but I thought the runs that he did well, and I thought we blocked up their front as much as we can. But when they're cover one, it's a really good looks for the receivers, and then whenever we can operate and execute, the kind of result is what happened.
Having to watch some of the game from the sideline, when you were younger, would you have been able to kind of handle that and stay locked in and focused and able to come in, or do you think that would have affected you when you were younger?
What do you mean by when I was younger?
Like, I don't know, first 2 years, 3 years?
Yeah, like, I think it was a good reset in a way, just take a deep breath and to see what's happening, so I thought it was the one positive you can look out of everything is just kind of saying, hey, you know what, take a deep breath, see what's going on there from a bystander's view, and then obviously getting back in there and okay, all right, now I've taken a step back, seeing the situation, go in there and operate and play like you normally do.
Do you go through the tablet?
Oh yeah, which is great. It's good to see it, what's happening and going. And those were have been a huge addition for us.
Were you talking to Garrett at all, like, hey, watch out for this? Or?
Absolutely, yeah. They even zoned him out a couple times, like where they played cover one man the first 30 snaps, and then they kind of came in on a couple third downs and played zone cover 3, and I was making sure, hey, make sure you're seeing those things. And obviously, me and Garrett are tight. We've had a great conversation together, and we talked yesterday, and kind of just. We want what's best for the team, and obviously that's my guy, and he's going to be really good here for many years, and he can throw the ball at a high level. So, yeah, we helping him out as much as I can for sure.
Last year, and then against Arkansas, and then even in the second half of Utah. I mean, second half you've been able to play a lot better. It feels like. What do you do at halftime? What do you do in the second half that you're able to kind of do better?
Sometimes I don't. Especially on Saturday, sometimes I just don't get into a rhythm. It takes me a little bit longer. For whatever reason it may be, I feel like I prepare the right way every week. But sometimes it takes me maybe a drive, maybe a quarter, maybe even a half to really get into a rhythm and to get into a click of things. And so just a testament to just saying, hey, you know what? More of kind of throw everything out that you thought out the window, just go out there and play free. That's kind of most times I talk to myself and kind of at halftime, stuff like that. Because when you play timid or trying to think too much, some throws are off. So that's just kind of mainly my mentality. So I was just glad I was able to give him the opportunity in the fourth quarter to kind of go out there and cut it loose.
Has not having Jake really changed what y'all do on offense or with the line?
Yeah, we got really good depth at tight end, so I think that they did great. And it's those guys are fullbacks, right? So it's tough you're having fullbacks running 4 verticals and stuff like that whenever you're down in the game. So not having Jake sucks. He's a great player, but obviously those guys we have depth at the position room that can pick up where he's dropped off.
You mentioned that this wasn't the first time that you've had a game like this. You've been experienced. You've come back on the other side of it. Was it important for you to kind of get in Garrett's head and be like, hey, because he didn't have a great day either. Was it important for you to kind of say, hey,
absolutely.
This stuff happens, you got to keep going?
No doubt, yeah. I mean, he probably did not expect to get in the game at all, and anybody did. And so for him, being able to talk to him and saying, you know what, it's okay, it's life, something's going to happen, it's going to be, keep your head up. He's going to, like I said, he's going to play here for a long time, and he's a great player.
Thanks.